The World Cup is starting in a month, so there is no better thing to do than making a game of the World Cup. I will be making my own animations, I will be making my own sound effects, and everything will be made from scratch. This is going to be an entire series about making this game. I have time until the World Cup starts, so if you want to follow this series, please subscribe to the channel. Now let's start. This is the main idea for the video game. You will be a football player which you can control with the keys of the keyboard or with some kind of arrow if you are on Android. It will be a platform game, so this is the difference regarding to a normal football game in which you don't have platforms, you have to score a goal. Well, the goal of the game is to grab this World Cup that will be at the end of the level. While you are playing, you are going to have obstacles. I don't know which obstacles, but you have obstacles anyway. You must have collected 3 World Cups in order to win, so 3 levels will be needed. And the name of this game is Relics of Football. Now I will just create the Unity project, obviously in 2D, and I will put the name. Okay, now we just have to wait until the project loads. I've created this script called player in which we will just move the player, and if we press the space we will jump. So with this script, now is the movement of the player. This is the part in which I start to suffer. This is the time to draw. In this case, for this game, I'm going to be using 3 main things. Firstly, the player and the animations of the players. We don't want the player to be static, we want it to be animated. Then we have all the tilesets needed, the ground, the background, etc. And then obviously the World Cup. Maybe I will have to add a new things, but to begin with the project, we'll be okay with just these things. Consider that I am not the best at drawing, but I swear I will try to do my best. I started by making the idle animation of the player. The idle animation is the animation that displays when the player is touching, when it's not moving or jumping. For this game I'm going to be using my icon of the channel, but I made things different. I added some shoes, I just move maybe the arms or the head. This is just to make things easier. To make the walk animation, I had to make 2 frames for the animation. Normally this type of animations, the animation of walking, takes about 7 or 8 frames, but I'm doing it with just 2 just to make it easier. Maybe it seems strange, every frame seems strange, but when you put all frames together and you see them in a demonstration of the gameplay, you can see that, well, it's an animation, okay, and you will see this next. So with all animations set in Unity, this is how the game is looking. We have the idle sprite, and when we start to move, the walking animation is played. There are only 2 frames of this animation, and also I made a sprite to the jump. When you jump, you can see it's the best sprite. I think the jump, I know they are completely nasty, I don't really like them at all, but they are working. So maybe I will just try to polish them in a near future. It's quite cute, the character, actually. The next sprite I had to do was the trophy. To do this, I open Sprite. Sprite is one of the most known programs to make pixel art. I made it as a pixel art because pixel art is simpler than drawing it in Photoshop, for example. I even added some shadows. That's why you can see a lot of colors in the drawing. After adding the trophy to the game and programming some logic, this is how the game is looking. I open again Sprite and get to work in the tileset. In total, I had to make 4 sprites. 2 are the corners of the ground, other is for the upper part of the ground, and the other part, let's say, is for the dirt. I started to work with the camera follow system. So to do that, I created a new script called camera follow. Firstly, I created 3 variables. One public vector 3 variable called offset. This is the offset that the camera will have. This offset is 0 for the x, and well, all the values you can see here. We have a smooth factor. This smooth factor is used when we want to move the camera, but in a smooth way. Then we also have a transform variable that is just a private one. That is the target that we want to follow. This target is obviously the player. Then in the update function, we clamp the position of the camera. If we don't clamp the position of the camera, this is how the game would look. For example, in the left side, you can see that it doesn't look so well because I can see this void by here. Or if I jump, for example, I can't see the ground. That's why we just clamp the values between the values we want. And for example here, I can't see what is by this way. Or for example, if I jump, the camera doesn't move. And then in the fix update function, I just created this follow target function that will follow the target, which is the player. We also use lerp in order to transition in a smooth way. Now let's just create the level. At level making I am also bad, but I tried to build the first level of the game. It's really simple, you just have a couple of platforms. As this is the first level, I didn't put any spike or any obstacle that you have to dodge. Remember, there will be 3 levels. So I think I will add these spikes in the second level, and maybe in the third level I add a kind of boss, or I don't really know. But what I know is that in the first level I am not going to put spikes, because the first level is like a tutorial. It's the part in which you have to know how the game works. And then yes, obviously in the second level and in the third level I will add obstacles like spikes or something like that. In addition, I've been thinking about adding 2 levels more, so in total there will be 5 levels, because if I don't add more levels, the game will be so short that I couldn't put a lot of content in it. But well, anyway, the first level is complete, and as the time passes I'm going to be seeing what more can I add. This is the most difficult part of making this game, of making actually the art of this game, and this is the parallax background. Later you will see what is a parallax background if you don't know what it is, but let's say it's a type of background that each element of it moves at a different speed, and as a result this 2D background it's like a 3D background. It tries to be a 3D background. To make this background, firstly I made some trees, then I made some mountains, and then I made some clouds. Yes, I know I can't draw really well, but I'm trying to do my best, as I always say. It took me like an hour and a half to make all these drawings, and maybe another half an hour to actually make the parallax background in Unity. But at least I can say that the result is really good. I wish I had better drawing skills. But anyway, the parallax background is there and it's working. This is all the progress I have until now. I have all the basic things. But anyway, everything is working fine. I am really having fun while doing this project. And next week I'm going to be uploading a new devblog. You should subscribe in order to see it. See you on the next one and bye bye.